Resonated. It's hard to tell if you actually influence the behavior, where with likes, you can influence behavior. For example, Cirque du Soleil, right? Cirque du Soleil's fan club has Facebook-only nights where they sell the tickets to their Facebook fans, and they can tell by how filled the auditorium is whether or not they actually influenced behavior. Now, I'm not saying abandon those broadcasting messages. Remember, integrated marketing, work Facebook and Twitter into the broadcast message. Other questions? You'll have to speak up if you're way back there. I don't have a mic on the floor.
What's the most successful B2B scenario that's been enabled by social networks?
What's the most successful B2B scenario? I was expecting that question for social networks. Now, there are internal B2B social networks. There are customers that are using Lotus Notes connections for internal communities, or Salesforce.com's Chatter for internal. So here is where an employee says, I'm bidding on a job that has XYZ requirements. Anyone ever work on one of these? And the other employees now see that as a status update, and they can find the employees in organizations they never knew who to reach. Used to be, hey, Bill, tell me to go see Sally. Sally tells me to go see Bob. Now I can broadcast who am I looking for, and they can come back to me. Another thing that's come out of this internal social networking is that you can follow not only people, but data. So we're seeing this in sales channels. So your direct sales force is out there, and I follow my pipeline report as well as news feeds from my clients, as well as information about my orders with that client. So that when I'm going in there and I'm doing the parking lot triage to get ready for the meeting, I can see the status of my orders, how I'm doing there, any news on them, and who's interacted with them last. So the B2B social aspects are internal to the organization around collaboration. On the external front, I have a client that makes concrete cast things, big pipes, the concrete restroom on a golf course. They took a different tack. They don't have a community of their own. They're not cool enough. What they have done is they've set up a Facebook community as well as a LinkedIn community that is focused on large open air projects. They invite their own engineers to blog and contribute to that, and get into discussions with the engineers who are designing these large open air projects. And they provide them with advice. And they also say, by the way, we make some of these products. And what they're trying to do is influence the engineers doing the design to write their product into the spec. So that's another way they're participating in helping solve a problem. If you're wondering, can it really work for B2B? In Facebook, if you type in mining, you will actually find that there are communities for mining. One of them had a picture of just an explosion of a mountain. So don't think that your organization is exempt from social. Just like you're here today to network with your peers in your industries, engineers do that, product designers do it, marketers do it, salespeople do it. All right? Be prepared, look for those communities. With all of these channels exploding, there's a challenge around customer loyalty, right? And how am I going to manage loyalty now with my empowered customer? Am I correct there? All right. So one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen out there is we need to stop this, right? Someone said something bad about our product. I'll give you an example. The Motorola flip phone, when it came out, at the same time Amazon had allowed as a product review the ability to post pictures of the products from customers. And the Razor was a hot phone, and one of the pictures that got posted was a razor in 2 pieces, with the product review that said, the hinge sucks. All right? Now, you think of 2 things. Get it down, right? Stop it. Well, you can't. Because if you stopped it in Amazon, they'll just post it in Flickr. And if they stopped it in Flickr, they'll move it to YouTube. And if you stopped it in YouTube, they'll move it to Google+. They'll just keep moving it. They have plenty of places to put it. Instead, the organization now has to learn how to listen and respond. Perhaps contacting the person who posted that picture and giving them a new phone. So that maybe they'll post a comment saying, they did the right thing. They gave me a new phone. Now, granted, there are recall issues. This is where legal gets involved. You don't want to have just any old employee responding to this. In fact, a software company was getting bashed in the blogosphere about a specific product, and one of their developers started answering questions and was very upset about their code being attacked. Well, guess what? They weren't the authorized spokesperson for the organization. They now had become the de facto spokesperson for that organization. And now what they were saying could be held accountable. So another part of your social strategy is planning on how to respond, whether you respond or remain silent to things being said out in the social sphere. Any other questions? Got one here and then one there.
With all this data available, what are you seeing in terms of companies using it for predictive purposes?
With all this data available, what are you seeing companies use as from predictive perspectives? Now here's where, I know you have a session later on big data. Here's where the problem starts in the world of CRM, is we have thousands of buckets of data that we haven't tied together. I've got my mobile data for iPhone, my mobile data for Android, my Facebook data about customers, my campaign management response rates here, and we're not able to put them together yet to get that customer pattern. So what we still see are the analytics are focused on point processes within a silo for improvement of that. So you saw we ran our tag cloud. We were able to see what topics were interesting. We were able to graph it. Now we needed then to work on tying that to the larger customer analysis that we do. So this is part of that road to 2015 is managing all of this data and putting it in a way that we can answer questions about the customer experience. It's probably one of the biggest challenges in this area. If you're in print media, are you done and should be looking for a new job, right? No, in terms of, I mentioned the Harper Current and print media, how will the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times do with paying? And that, I'm finding that there is information people will pay for. However, it has to be something worthwhile. There's a value proposition that's changed. From a stickiness perspective, you never thought in print media that it's about getting you to keep coming back. One of our 4 websites models we call the Informer, which the objective is to drive subscriptions and repeat usage and making it the first place to go. Now, the New York Times, I know when you subscribe to it, not only will you get it on your iPad or your iPhone and you'll get access to more than the articles they allow you, but you'll also be able to set up the email alerts, pick topics you want to follow, and aggregate it. So you can work with them so that they will let you know what news is coming to you when you want it. ESPN's done a great job with their mobile app for getting you addicted to making them the only source for your sports information. You can sign up for the teams. You can sign up for when you want the play, the scores, by quarter, by inning, by full, by half. You can follow them, and they do all of that so that you'll go and join their fantasy clubs. So you'll see there's a lot of information we're willing to give you for free, but then we're going to have something on the back end that will sell you. So I think they'll be successful, but it will be a new model that we're not used to, but that the kids of today will expect. Other questions? These are great questions. I should write them down.
What do you see beyond 2015?
What do I see beyond 2015? Hopefully my retirement. But the way you mentioned, my 401k is the opposite of that chart. But beyond 2015, now, Gartner, Anthony Bradley and Mark McDonald have just recently published a Gartner publication on social strategies. Right? We're going to see by 2015 and beyond, social within our daily routine in the office from a collaborative perspective, leveraging our networks. For example, right now, many salespeople often check LinkedIn to see if they know someone who knows someone to get them into the account. All right? We'll see that turned into a tool that we can actually use day to day. Right? So we'll see how now when we hire an employee, we're also getting access to their network. What happens when they leave? We'll have to manage that. Big data, getting to be able to look at customer experience and understand it across all the channels. Integrating our channel messages and putting them in context. And a simple way to think of context, for anyone who's ever moved, right, you always get about a month after the card from a bank that says, would you like a mortgage? And you usually it's like about 180 days ago, I needed a mortgage, right? Not now. What if when you called up to change your address, they asked you, would you like a mortgage? Right? That's being proactive. So that's the environment we're moving to. We are going to make recommendations to our customers on actions because we understand